Austin, Jim Henry from the Globe. Has it been a fast August or a long, slow, drawn-out August?
I think it's been a little bit of both. I mean, the anticipation for Thursday is definitely, everybody's been waiting for it for a long time. I mean, this is what we worked for since last December. But, I mean, it's been a very good camp. I think everybody's ready to go. Everybody's had very good practices.
Austin, Lucas Davis from the Morning Sun. Talk about how you feel the offense is kind of shaping up heading into the first game.
You know, I think we've had a lot of good practices. I mean, offense is a lot about timing and all that stuff, and we've been working at it for a long time throughout the summer, 7-on-7 and stuff like that. So, I think we'll be ready to go.
What are you guys expecting to see defensively out of UCM?
A lot of man coverage. We know they like to do that.
What are the biggest keys you guys are going to have to do offensively to implement your style out there?
I think we just need to execute and do what we do. We don't need to do anything special or anything out of the ordinary. Just execute our plays and go from there.
How glad are you to be playing on Thursday night instead of waiting for Saturday?
I like it. I mean, it's always tough watching games Thursday night when you just got to wait till Saturday. So it's kind of nice to be able to go out there and be one of the first teams to play.
Obviously, those Thursday games are a little abnormal. Is it easier for you guys playing at home instead of having to travel during the week?
I don't think it makes that big of a deal. I mean, it's nice to play at home. I mean, we feel like we have the best fans in Division II and all around the country. So, I mean, it's always nice to play at home.
Austin, Abby Everson from the Collegio. What can we look forward to from you this next game?
I'm just gonna go out there and give it my best. I mean, that's all I can promise.
Is there anything you're looking forward to improving from last season?
I think it's really just starting out game one. I mean, doing what we've been practicing and hopefully get started on the right foot.
Do you guys like having a top 20 test coming in to start the season, or would you rather kind of ease in maybe?
I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, in this conference, everybody could be in the top 20. I mean, this conference is loaded, and you got to play everybody.
Where do you feel like the offense has made the biggest jump and the biggest improvement since last year?
I think we've grown a lot. I mean, we had a lot of young guys last year, and we got a lot of guys back. And I think we really all just came together and grown.
How well is the receiver core hooking back up with John now that he's back in the motion of things?
We've put a lot of work in, and we have a lot of guys that have experience and have played, and I think we've really gelled together really well. It should be a good year.
What have you seen progression-wise, year one to year two from John?
Just that he's getting older. He's getting a lot smarter. I mean, he hasn't gotten to play a whole lot, but I mean, he is maturing a lot, and he's a very good player.
Demetrius, Jim Henry from the Globe in Joplin. How the month of August, has it been a long camp or has it gone by pretty quick?
It feels long when you're in it, but looking back on it, I mean, it wasn't as bad as, people might make it out to be. I think it's just been exciting to be able to get back into the season, and that's made camp a lot easier to deal with.
You're one of the guys who got more experience than expected last year because of injuries. How much better do you feel going into this season than you did last year?
Oh, really good. I mean, feel healthier, so that's a good thing for one. And then just having that game experience, knowing what to expect. I mean, you're not going to be big and wide-eyed when the game starts. I mean, that'll make a huge difference for me and everybody else that affected too.
Demetrius, Lucas Davis from the Morning Sun. Talk about some of the things you're planning on seeing at the UCM offense.
Oh, well, they have a lot of good athletes, so we expect them to get those athletes the ball in space and just try to do a bunch of creative things. I mean, week one, you don't have this year's film, so I mean, they can do anything they want to do really, and we expect them to come out and try to set the tone early, and hopefully we have an answer for them.
Does them returning a lot of their skill position players from last year, does that help you guys kind of gauge on almost what to expect, what a guy's tendencies are?
Yeah, I would imagine they're gonna stick to what worked for them last year. I mean, they had a really good offense, so I would expect them to do a similar thing, and if we execute, I think we'll have success against them.
What do you think the key for your defense is to keep them off the field?
Playing fast. I think the strength of our defense is that we're gonna have a lot of fast guys on the field, and reading our assignments, reading our alignments, and then just flying to the ball.
Demetrius, Abby Everson from Collegio. Tell me, what's your game plan for this Thursday? What strategies are you looking and employing for UCM?
Like I said, we just want to, as a team, we want to play fast. We want to get off to a fast start. You know, everybody's going to have jitters for the first game, and we want to get those out of the way and then come out early and set the tone for the rest of the game.
Talk a little about your excitement level coming into open season after a long off season.
It's really exciting. Like I said, we've been hitting each other since spring ball, and it's going to be nice to be able to go hit other people and go play other teams. And I'm really excited to see what this group can do. We've been working really hard all off season.
How much does it mean to you guys opening up in front of the home crowd?
That's awesome. I mean, everybody's so excited. It seems even more excited this year for some reason for football to start, and being in front of the best fans in the country. I mean, that's the best way to open up.
Is it necessarily a good or bad thing you have to open up with the top 20 team first week of the season?
I think it's the perfect thing for us. I mean, you want to know exactly where you stand, and playing a team that's ranked second in our conference. I mean, we'll have a good gauge on where we are.
A lot of times, first game takes offense a while to get things smoothed out. As a defense, how important is it to come out and be ready to go to kind of make up for that?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, it's normal for offenses the first game of the season to come out slow, but as a defense, it's more driven on emotion and physical play. I mean, there's no excuse for us not to come out fast. And it's important. So special teams and defense, we set the tone. So when our offense does click, we'll be in good shape.
Obviously, the defense has been a staple for this program for quite some time. You guys have quite a few special athletes this year. You guys ready to live up to that kind of hype and expectations?
I think we are. I think we have a lot of not only special athletes, but mature, older guys that are ready to lead. We have the Deron Washingtons and Heath Wilsons of the world that are been here, and been Spencer Brown, who's been doing this for a while, and they're ready to start the senior season off right.
How big is that pass rush going to be for you guys this year?
Oh, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. I think it's going to be a good part of what we do. I mean, it makes playing defense easy if the front four is just taking care of everything, and then we're able to sit back and cover the pass and make plays.
Coach Jim Henry from the Globe, has it been a long fall camp for you, or has it gone pretty quick?
It has gone pretty quick for the most part. It's so different than it was just 10, 15 years ago when you look on how you go through fall camp. But when school starts, kind of depends on what you get as far as 2 days. Last year we had 1 2-day. This year we had 3 2-days. So I think that helped a little bit. And you just have a lot to install and get done. So I think as a coach, you don't think camp's ever long enough. As a player, it maybe drags on a little bit, but I think it was about right, and we went through it fairly quick.
What jumps out on you on film about Central Missouri?
Well, that's the tough thing, is the fact that this is the first game of the year. So all you have to go off of is last year's video, and they've got a new defensive coordinator. We know Coach Svoboda is extremely good at doing what he does offensively, so you're going to get motions and things where they're going to get some run-pass option plays, and they're going to find a way to run their quarterback, and there's just a lot of those things that are tough to prepare for. And then on top of that, you don't know what formations they're going to do it out of. So first game of the year against Central Missouri is very difficult. And then defensively, not knowing for sure if they're going to be in a 3-man front or a 4-man front is tough as well. So the unknowns is what this is the toughest part. Last year at the end, we played them at the end of the year. We obviously weren't very good at the time, and they got after us pretty good. I think we're a lot better football team than we were a year ago at this time. So hopefully we can come out and give our best effort.
Have there been any surprises in your fall camp?
No, not really. We're kind of where we thought we'd be, and we were hopeful that we could get through camp fairly healthy, which we did for the most part, and just get some of the guys back that we didn't have last year, and then we added some few players on both sides of the ball that hopefully be immediate impacts.
What differences have you seen in John Roderick from last year to this year?
Well, between him, last year at this time, we were just now making a decision whether we're going to go with John or Thomas, and We made that decision fairly late and decided to go with John, and then he exploded against Tahlequah and showed what he could do. I think he's obviously a year smarter on what we're doing, and understanding of the game is much better, and another year in the weight room in the off season has him well prepared for this season.
Coach Lucas Davis from the Morning Sun, kind of leading into this first game, talk about some of the aspects, whether it be offensive or defense, that you've been pleased so far leading up, and some things that you're going to have to work on come game time.
Well, we'll wait till after the game to determine what we have to work on. We don't want Central to know what we have to work on right now, but I think that offensively, we have good timing and tempo. We talk about that a lot, being able to adjust speeds if we need to. But I think that just a better understanding of what we're trying to do offensively. We've got some receivers that we can move around in different positions. We've got some running backs that we can play in different positions. We have the ability to play 2 tight ends if we want to. We didn't have all those options last year at this time. So just the opportunity to be able to do different things and be a little bit more multiple will help us offensively. And defensively, got a lot of new faces, but we feel like we're going to have a very fast defense from the very front guys to the back guys. And we've got new people, but we've got good experience at every position. As far as we've got Duran to help the secondary, he's got a lot of experience. We've got Spencer and Demetrius at inside linebacker. And then we've got Heath to kind of take care of the defensive line. So we have guys that understand what it takes to get things done up there, and that's always important. So I think the leadership added with the competition that we've had at some positions over there will make us good defensively.
What are some of the keys you think that you guys are going to have to be able to succeed in to be strong offensively as well as defensively?
I think turnovers is going to be a big deal. I think it's, every game you talk about, we need to be +2 if we can by the end of the game. No matter what it takes to get there, we need to find a way to get +2 in turnovers. I think that's obviously a huge key, especially early in the season. And then I think special teams play. I think that, we spend a lot of time on our special teams and we work very hard at it. And but that's saying that, but you got to go out and perform that on the field, and all those special teams plays are extremely important, especially in this conference when there's just not a lot of room for error.
When there's not a lot of room for error in a league like this, how much more pressure does it put on you to have to play the 20th ranked team in the nation right off the bat?
Well, that's everybody's got to play everybody, and would you rather play somebody maybe that you knew you could have a little bit more success against early on, maybe, but that's not we don't have that option. So I think the advantage of playing Central Missouri early is it's really kept us sharp, and I think our guys have had an edge throughout fall camp because of it, because they know they're playing one of the top teams in the country, and they've got to be ready to go. So I think our guys will be excited and ready for the challenge.
You said you got some unknowns about them. Also, looking back at last year's tape, because of the way guys' season went and the injuries, they don't have a lot of really tape on some of the guys that'll be out there playing for you. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we're going to do some things offensively they haven't seen, and they'll do some things offensively that we haven't seen. We know that, and so. Sometimes defensively, you have to expect the unexpected. That's pretty hard to do. You don't know what they're going to do, and so you work against the plays that that they have ran in the past, and hopefully that everything else that you are teaching your guys will carry over to the things that they haven't shown before.
You like Thursday games to open up the season?
I'm not a big fan. No, I'm not a big fan of Thursday games at all. But I do think that our student section will be rocking, and that'll be really cool. I just think because of Pittsburgh State, we have a tremendous group, tremendous fan base, and we have a huge fan base from Kansas City. I think it'll be difficult for some of those people to be able to come to our games, but I think maybe that the student section will make up for it, which I'm looking forward to that.
Do you think it's an advantage to be able to play at home in that opener on a Thursday game as opposed to having to travel?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I think that, first game of the year, it's nice to play at home because you don't have to deal with all the other distractions. And, when you go on the road, you've got coaches that are doing other little things as far as travel and where you're going to eat pregame meal and if you're going to spend the night or not spend the night. you know, all those things. So I think I think obviously we'd rather open at home. Yeah.
Coach Abby Epperson from the Collegiate. Now, looking back at those injuries from last season, how's the team looking reincorporating those players?
Yeah, I think almost everybody's back. Kelly Wortham, you know, was in a situation where he won't play this first game, but we'll get him back fairly quick. So he's kind of the only one that's not back. But you know, everybody else is in pretty good shape, and we're ready to go.
Does a win against UCM Thursday help kind of prove that this is going to be a different team and a different season compared to last year?
Oh, I think it would. Yeah, I think there's no doubt. I mean, again, there's not a lot of margin for error. So everybody understands that. So you know, getting a win against them early would be huge.
Are you pleased with how the guys have been practicing the last few weeks, considering how hard you got to hit it once the season starts?
Absolutely, and you know, it's different than it used to be, but the speed of our practices have been fantastic, and again, we rewarded them a little bit. You know, we're not going to run at the end of practice just to be running. We feel like as long as our guys practice at a really fast pace, we're getting what we need out of them, then we don't need to condition at the end. And we haven't conditioned very many times with the whole group because we feel like we're getting what we need out of practice.
Demetrius talked about the speed on defense being key for you guys. Do you agree that in order to keep UCM off the field, in order to get your offense implemented, you guys are going to have to use that speed to kind of fly to the ball?
Absolutely, yes. And they're going to make it more difficult because they've got a quarterback that can run for football. And there's been times where Central Missouri's been really good, but their quarterback was not an option to run the ball. I mean, he would very rarely do that. And you know, this guy, he's got a 85-yard run against Central Oklahoma last year. I mean, he can go when he decides to go. And we didn't see him he was not completely healthy when we saw him last year when we played. So that makes it more difficult. And so we got to play good assignment football. We got to be aligned right, and we got to communicate very well. And those will be three huge keys for us.
Touched on John a little bit earlier. How big is it having that continuity of knowing that you have the quarterback in that you started with last year returning this year?
Yeah, him and his backup being there, Thomas, who's went through some games, is really important. I think you can just feel an air of confidence in those guys when they step to the line of scrimmage, and they're much more sure about what they're doing than they were a year ago at this time.
Was there any thought about Tom being the guy in the last few weeks in training camp?
Thomas has had some really good practices, and like I said, I think the neat thing is they're both really unselfish players and really root for each other, and so you know, we feel good when he's in the game, and I think that's comforting for both of them a little bit to understand that if one of them if John needs a break, he can take a break if he needs to. Obviously, John's our starter, and that's who we're going with, and you know, but Thomas is a good athlete too, and we would absolutely don't feel bad about putting him in the game.
Does that make it easier for you as a coach, confidence-wise, knowing that you have Thomas that you can put in, like you said, if John needs that breather, then you're less fearful of a drop-off in play coming in?
Yeah, and I think we've seen Thomas play with a lot more confidence right now than he has, and he's against our defense, and our defense is pretty fast. He's been able to step up and make some big throws in some scrimmage situations, and I think that will give him confidence to be better again this year.